Welcome to this explainer. So picture this. You've literally just walked through your front door. The car seat is safely on the floor, the house is dead quiet, and then, boom, it hits you. The absolute panic of realizing you're now entirely responsible for this tiny, fragile human being. And guess what? They didn't come with a manual. Those first 48 hours at home, they can feel completely overwhelming. You're swinging wildly from profound joy to absolute chaos. But hey, don't worry, because today we're going to take you from chaos to calm. We're looking at a survival kit curated from the brilliant Maples Baby Care Solutions channel, and it's designed specifically to get you through those critical first days.
Okay, let's dive into this plan. First, we've got the Newborn Survival Guide. Second, fixing bottle feeding mistakes. Third, deciphering baby cries. Fourth, relieving colic and gas. And finally, mastering sleep and diapering.
Section 1. The Newborn Survival Guide.
You know, when you first bring a newborn home, it is so incredibly easy to get lost in this massive sea of advice from well-meaning relatives, not to mention those endless internet forums. But check out this core mission from the Maples Baby Care Solutions material. All newborns require specific attention to prevent the risk of sickness and promote normal growth and development. Right? We aren't just trying to white-knuckle it through the night. We're actually giving them the exact, targeted attention they need to safely adapt to the outside world. It's all about setting up a secure, responsive environment, totally free from all that outside noise and stress.
Section 2. Fixing bottle feeding mistakes. So, feeding is pretty much priority number 1, right? It's the ultimate rhythm that dictates your entire day and night. Now, look at this question. Are you making critical mistakes during bottle feeding? Honestly, that is the silent fear every single new parent wrestles with at 3 a.m. You're sitting there thinking, am I doing this right? Is the bottle angle okay? Are they gulping way too much air? If you've asked yourself those things, you are absolutely not alone. The mechanics of feeding a brand new baby are actually a learned skill. They aren't just instantly instinctual for us. And that brings us to a really incredible resource highlighted in the Maples channel, 5 mistakes parents make during bottle feeding and how to fix them. The absolute game changer here is that you don't have to guess anymore. The source material outlines the exact, most common pitfalls. We're talking things like improper bottle angles that lead to air intake, or maybe using an incorrect nipple flow speed, and it hands you the precise fixes. Literally, just knowing these 5 things can completely transform a super frustrating feeding session into a truly peaceful bonding moment. It keeps your baby's feeding rhythms perfectly on track from day 1.
Section 3. Deciphering your baby cries. Okay, so once feeding is sorted, we immediately hit the next major stressor, relentless crying. You know the drill. Suddenly, the baby is fed, they're changed, and yet, the wailing continues. In those first 48 hours, just trying to figure out what those sounds mean can be incredibly daunting. But to help us out, the Maples Guide introduces this brilliant concept called baby talk. They really emphasize that crying isn't just random noise you need to turn off. It's actually a super complex language made up of subtle signals and behaviors. Reframing that crying as actual communication completely lowers our anxiety, and it shifts us straight into problem-solving mode. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the direct contrast we're seeing. Over on the left, we've got how we usually perceive a crying baby, just generic distress that feels super loud and totally overwhelming. Our brains just process it as bad. But over on the right, we have the baby talk approach, specific communication. So is it a really high-pitched, sudden wail? Well, that might actually be pain. What about a rhythmic, repetitive cry? That's very often hunger. Or maybe a whiny, kind of fussy sound? Usually that means they're just tired. By actually learning the specific communication, you start to decode the whole mystery of your newborn incredibly fast.
Section 4. Relieving colic and gas.
But what happens when you do decode that cry and you realize, uh-oh, my baby's actually in physical discomfort, like some serious tummy trouble? Well, the Maple Source provides a highly practical toolkit for exactly this scenario. Take a look at these specific resources. 5 ways to help pass gas, tips to relieve colic, and full guides on baby massage. Here's the thing. When a newborn has trapped gas, they literally can't just move around to relieve it themselves. They rely 100% on you. So having 5 distinct, proven ways, stuff like doing little bicycle legs or dedicated tummy time, gives you an actionable checklist rather than that awful feeling of total helplessness at 2 a.m.
And this brilliantly illustrates the logical, methodical progression you can use. Step 1, actually identify that the crying is indeed colic or gas. That's often characterized by things like clenched fists and little pulled up legs. Step 2, methodically try out one of those 5 ways to help them pass the gas. Step 3, once that immediate pressure is finally relieved, you follow up with a newborn baby massage. That really helps to relax their tense muscles and soothe their frazzled nervous system. It's just a complete step-by-step physical intervention plan, and it works absolute wonders in those really intense first couple of days.
Section 5. Mastering sleep and diapering. So, if you can get the feeding right, decode the crying, and relieve the gas, you perfectly set the stage for our final pillar, safe, restorative sleep. And the source material doesn't just leave you hanging after those urgent 3 a.m. crises are managed. They offer these really comprehensive guides to handle everyday maintenance. We're talking a sleeping guide to establish safe habits early on, a diapering guide so you don't get surprisingly sprayed in the middle of the night, plus all the essentials on bathing, nutrition, vaccinations, and just generally how to know if your baby is actually healthy. It is all about building your long-term confidence right on the heels of surviving those crazy first 48 hours. Notice the number 40 here. The Maples Baby Care Solutions channel isn't just a handful of quick tips you'd find scrolling on your phone. It's a remarkably robust library of exactly 40 videos. From unraveling those tricky early developmental signs all the way to mastering these core basic survival skills, it represents an incredible wealth of knowledge that is right there at your fingertips. You definitely don't have to figure it all out alone in the dark.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with this final thought. With modern tools to decode those complex cries, step-by-step techniques to relieve painful gas, and highly structured guides to master feeding, diapering, and safe sleep, are you ready to conquer the first 48 hours? You have the exact knowledge you need now. It's time to put it into action, completely transform that initial panic into empowered parenting, and truly, finally, enjoy welcoming your little one home.